first time. I didn't know. Okay.
Good afternoon, Rattlers. It's a pleasure to be before you once again. All right, once again, thank you for joining us today for the Eddie Jackson 220 Quarterback Club weekly meeting. What a homecoming, huh? Absolutely great homecoming. And before we really get started, I would like to bring up the Colonel. And Colonel Ron Joe, and he will not be talking about go vote because that is done. We don't want to hear any commercials or anything about voting. We're done with that for a while. We need to detox from voting. So at this, I'll bring up Colonel retired Ron Joe.
Thank you. Tried to wait long enough to get the chewing done. I still think we need some more votes. There's a special friend of mine that I wanted to introduce this morning. His name is Richard Moore. Richard is in Ghana now, and he has a program that takes care of widows and orphans in that country, and he stays there about 8 months out of the year. Put the mic back up closer, thank you, I will. He is there since 75 to 79. He was here as a student at FAMU, and then from 91 to 92, he was a professor and taught here at FAMU as well. He and I used to go to Atlanta when FAMU was playing the game up there, remember? And we used to go up on Wednesday so we could go look for suits and all that kind of good stuff and do it and enjoy it. Richard is a profoundly giving person. He's got some other programs that he intends to give us some funds at a later time. But this morning he would like to make a presentation. I don't know where Vaughn went, but he's heard about our effort to raise money on behalf of Eddie Jackson. So Rich, come on up here and take the mic, and I won't reveal you. Come on around here. Yeah, I'll put you this way. I'll get out the other way. So let's give him a round of applause, please, if you don't mind, because he came here to make a presentation to us. Richard Moore.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. I have to make it back from Ghana here at least twice a year just so I can get some sense of normalcy, and I love it over there. And I'm having to leave next week. It was not in my plans, but there's a citizenship ceremony taking place on the 19th, and I got the word since I've been here that if you're not there, you won't get it. And especially after yesterday, I'm going back to get my citizenship. Okay, make no doubt about that. But I will be at the Florida Classic on the 20th of November. I'm gonna turn around, hop on the plane, and come back here, and you'll see me at the Florida Classic. I'm not gonna take up much more time, but I have a presentation for a special person here. And this is, I want her to know that I support her fully. And this is a surprise to her. She didn't know it was coming, but I had something custom made for her in Ghana. That's the beautiful thing about Ghana. I can get so much stuff custom made, it's not even funny. Top quality.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. So I wanted you to have that and know that I support you.
Thank you.
We had a discussion about a year and a half ago, and it was the most cordial discussion I had. We had differences, but we talked about it. We shook hands, and I want you to know, not just this, but financially, I'm going to support you because I know that we're in a much better place than we've been in a long time. So my confidence is with you.
We thank you.
Thank you. This second mask that I'm going to present is a national championship mask. I would like for this organization to auction it off to any one of you out there and donate the funds to the organization. I want nothing for it, okay? So that's all I have. Thank you very much, Vaughn and Colonel Joe. And y'all can pass that around so people can look at it. I want to join the $1,000 club under Colonel Joe, and I'll, handle that in monthly increments. Just talk to me and we'll make it happen.
All right, our newest Grand Rattler, Richard. Good to see you. I first met Richard when he was working with my dad on campus, so. Sylvan, who we gonna get to pass this around? Because we're not just gonna pass this around because we need to get it back. We're gonna designate somebody to pass. No, I'm just kidding. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bring up the Executive Director of the Rattler Boosters, Mr. Sylvan Cobb.
Good evening, good evening, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Okay. Coach, You know, we've been on you about scoring or your lack of scoring. Vaughn told me that you had made this part of your post game ceremony. But before I do that, I had a preacher to come and ask me after I had come from convocation. He said, "What kind of racket is that y'all got going up there?" He said, "Every morning you get up there and you give a number." He said, What that number for?" So I told him, I said, "Well, sir, that's for how many points that they score. And we give a number each week." And he said, "Oh, okay." So he reached in his pocket and he gave me $24. $24 was last week. So he gave me the $24. Then we come up here this week and we score $52. And believe it or not, this wasn't Reverend Holmes that asked me the question, but Reverend Holmes also sent his $52. And for all of you all that's out there, we got 6 $52. Okay? You got one? Okay, got another one that's coming up. Okay? So let's go make it 7. Oh, okay. All right. And that doesn't include Mr. Theodis Griswold. Mr. Griswold wrote a check out for $220. He gave that to you, Coach. So I just wanted to just show you just how much we're collecting on nutrition. And all of this money goes to nutrition. And last week, we raised $1,344 for nutrition. Okay? So I want to thank you all. Thank you all for that. Yes. Make it out to Rattler Boosters. Okay, just to give you a quick update. Football is not the only thing we play at FAMU. We have an undefeated first place SWAC conference champ here. They are 13-0. We went to Alabama last week, and we lost one match. So I think that was one set. I'm sorry, one set. So we won. We went 6-1. So out of the two games, one in Montgomery, the other one's in Huntsville. So again, we want to congratulate our volleyball coach. Our next game is next Friday, and our next game is going to be down in Daytona. So we got a game here next Friday in Daytona. So if you want to go down to Daytona and catch a volleyball game, you're welcome to go. Our bowling team is got a match on November the 8th. They're in the Honda Classic. Our women basketball team, we fell into a little buzzsaw. We lost our first match there last Monday night, but we got a game again on November the 11th, and we're playing the good Florida Gators. Okay. Our men's basketball team, they're out in Texas. We played our first game against Texas Christian University. We lost that 59-105. And we got another game on November the 7th, which is tomorrow night. And we're playing Southern Methodist University. Okay. And then after that, we're going to take a little trip. We're going to the Northeast, and we're going to play the University of Maryland. Okay. Men's golf, we got our second win of the season. And of course, this is not golf season, but as hot as it is, it could be golf season. But we got our second win of the since we've been playing the preseason, and we won the East Coast Collegiate College Invitational Tournament. So that's great there. Just a quick note, we do have a few luncheon tickets left. So if you're interested in going to, it's going to be down early in Orlando, come and have lunch with us. Well, you can have lunch with the players, and the cheerleaders. So, and it'll be both teams. So that is going to be at 11:30 to probably around 1:15, 1:30. Now, tomorrow, on Saturday, we still have a few seats left on the bus. Now, we have a police escorted bus that rides from the host hotel on over to the Florida Classic. Now, if you ever thought traffic was bad after homecoming, you should be down there at the Florida Classic trying to drive those streets, okay? So you can ride the bus. We've already filled up one. See myself or Tommy Mitchell, and we'll put you on the bus, and that's $40 per person, okay? All right, so with that being done, Vaughn, you ready yet? Okay, all right. Thanks, everybody. Oh, before I leave, as they do in the church, Booster membership is open. Okay? So we just don't support football. We support everybody, all sports, including from bowling all the way up. We support everybody. So please, if you need some assistance, please see me. And this is for those people that's on the air as well. You could just write a check starting with $100. That's your regular membership. $300 is a Venom membership. $750 is a life membership. You can just make a note of it, send us your name, address, and all that other pertinent information if you don't have one, and we'll make that membership available to you. And we'll make sure that you send this to Rattler Boosters, Post Office Box 5865, Tallahassee, Florida. And zip, if you could help me with the zip code, I'm sorry. Bill, if you can help me with the zip code, I think it's 32314. There you go, 32314. There you can become a member of Rattler Boosters. Thank you, everybody.
All right, thank you, Selvin, as usual. Once again, we want to remind everyone that we are still in the midst of the $1 Million campaign. I have a stack of letters if you need them, take them to your Cub Scout meeting, your fraternity meeting, your church, whatever meeting it is. We need to get more donors. We are trying to position ourselves to make a good run at this because our athletic department needs that money. They really need that money. We expect champions on the field. We have to support them like champions. As we know, one of the reasons we were able to ascend the way we did last year with 2 national championships, we helped fund that. And we have to keep doing that. So those online as well, continue to keep supporting us. We're continuing to grow the fund, and our goal is $1 million. Also, for the T-shirts, how many people are getting the emails from the 220 Quarterback Club? Everybody's getting emails. Good. If you're not getting the emails, make sure we have your correct email in our system with Wilma up front. Just make sure we have your email because we put information through there. And several people printed out their order forms for their T-shirts there. We're taking the T-shirts orders today. Next week, because of several asks, we're going to bring back the shirts so you can judge your size, because they have men's sizes and women's sizes. So next week we will have the shirts, and after next week we'll turn the order in, the first order in. If you're online, we're going to put a link where we can get your information if you would like an order form, and to make sure that you can have the opportunity to purchase your Eddie Jackson 220 Quarterback Club official shirt. Hold on, let me check something real quick. All right. We got to be correct when we're talking about people's money, and make sure we get the names right. So I had to pause because our good friend online, June Coleman, sent $1,000 last week, and all we had was her first name. There's a lot of Junes out there, but June Coleman, thank you. And she says there's more to come, so we want to make sure you're happy, June. If you want us to call you by your nickname or whatever, we will do that. We will accommodate you. All right. Harry Demps and Devin Demps, $100. C.D. Crosby Harley. Is that correct? All right. Another $100. Tella Marie Williams, $500 from Oakland. Corky Norwood's sister from Oakland, California. I got to add up all the money that Norwood's got a tree going on over there. We got to thank you, Norwoods, for not only donating, but helping us to get others in. That is very important. And here is June Coleman's $1,000 donation. Okay. Once again, our CEO told me to, Mr. Dixon. FAMU Foundation. He's writing this check. Make it out to FAMU Foundation. And in the memo, put number 2649. That's our account. If you're online, if you're donating directly to the foundation, whether via check or online, make sure it's earmarked for account number 2649. Come on, Sam. I can't repeat that on air, Sam. Sam, thank you. Sam Dixie. Hold on, I learned this past weekend with Lloyd Cobb. If everybody knows, like he said, Lloyd gets a lot of credit for donations, but it's his wife who write the check and sign the checks. And I see Thelma Dixie on here too, so thank you, Miss Thelma. And thank you, Sam. $1,000 Grand Rattlers, we appreciate that. Question? Yes, we had a new form because there wasn't enough information on that form. So the form we email, did you get the email, Harold? That form is the form that you need to. And if you got the form online and you see XXL twice, the second one is the XXX. But what we're going to do is confirm with everyone who's ordered shirts, because we have the information. We're going to confirm with everyone's polo size. I know Deacon Matthew says he wants several, and other people have told me they wanted them. We're going to confirm with everyone before we put the order in, just to make sure we're as accurate as possible. So, and now, I'd like to bring up the Vice President and Director of Athletics for our Florida A&M University Rattlers, Angela Suggs.
Thank you, Vaughn. Hello, First Lady Beard. So glad to have you here. And of course, our partner and brother, Dr. Shelby Chipman, the incomparable Margin 100. Of course, that's who we do it for, our student athletes. And so glad to have them here. But we also have other members of our team here. Ms. Markel Broussard is here. And our head softball coach is here, Coach Brittany Beal. Our pitching coach, assistant softball coach, Jessica Hurtado, is here. It's all about the family. I opened up at the press conference by saying that Davin Dillon and I are honored to have this assignment. My husband, Davin, is here, and we can't do what we do. Of course, you're going to hear from Coach a little bit later. We also have a good friend of FAMU athletics here. Ms. Gwen is here all the way from Miami, and she's a good partner of ours with sports, all of sports in Florida, but particularly with Florida A&M. And thank you to all of you. Hopefully you had a great time this past weekend, all the way into Monday. Monday night, thank you. The number we called was right at about 2,100, almost 2,200 people. And Vaughn, I don't know if that's a record, but I'm going to say it is because it was a women's only game. It wasn't even a double header. So thank you, Rattlers, for showing up for our women's basketball team. Thank you for a safe and fun homecoming weekend and homecoming day and game day. And of course, definitely there's opportunity for us to continue to get better. That is always what we strive to do. But thank you for the role that you played. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for your support of the Rattlers. Thank you, Coach, for continuing this home winning streak. Things are good there. Champions are who we are. A couple of questions that have been asked to me, so let me give you a couple of answers. Basketball season tickets. Thank you for those of you who have already purchased your tickets. You can download them starting next Thursday. They should appear in your account by next Thursday. And then you can also come to the ticket office at the next home game to get them printed out for those of you that want your basketball season tickets printed out. Okay, so that's what we have there. And we go to Houston this weekend. Coach will talk about that a little bit more. But then we come back home to play Mississippi Valley, and we want everyone to come out. We don't want that to be a light game. We want that to be a game. We know it's the week before Florida Classic. We get it. And we understand that resources have to be prioritized. And so for those of you that can come back to Tallahassee, we want you to definitely come back. But this is where we call on the 850 as well. We want, optimal success is that every weekend, every game day is homecoming. It's a homecoming vibe and a homecoming feel. We want to sell out every game. My husband is born and raised Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The Packers are always sold out for years. They're sold out next year. They were sold out last year. They've been sold out forever. And so that's what we want to be in Bragg Memorial Stadium, Ken Riley Field. That's where we want to be in the Lawson Center. We want people sitting all on the hill at softball. We want you everywhere at baseball. We want the FAMU relays to be packed out in the spring. We want all of our sports and all of our teams to feel the love as we know you will. And so I'll take a couple of questions. Mr. Johnson.
Hold on, Mr. Johnson.
Hold on, Mr. Johnson. They'll bring you a mic.
Was the 23,000 attendance they announced, did that include Al Lawson?
No, sir, it didn't. We had about 500 people in the Al Lawson Center, and so we thought that was good. What was great for them, for those that I spoke to, they were in a climate-controlled environment, and they had easy access to restrooms and all of that. So it was great. And when I saw them, they were leaning back in the chairs, had their arms all on the chair. So it was really good. And I hope the band participants had a good time. They were vibing with the DJ Demp. And so it was a really good experience, for sure. And they had concessions, yes.
Are the season basketball tickets reserved seats?
Yes, sir.
They are.
The Alabama game, sorry, the Alabama game, we will be able to use the same tickets we have, right?
Yes, ma'am. It is game number 2.
Okay.
Yes. And it starts at 4 p.m. So gates will open at 2. Give you a chance to do your Black Friday shopping, wake up from Thanksgiving. You know, you can come on and tailgate with your leftovers.
I haven't got my Bethune-Cookman tickets. We still having problems with that, or I am anyway. I don't know about
Markel, if we can make a note of that, and when we get back, we'll check on it. Absolutely.
Wilma, did you have one? Okay.
For the game that's after, I'm sorry, for the game that, after Thanksgiving, for the ones that got the tickets, in the wallet, okay, they're not there anymore, so how did they get those tickets back on the wallet?
We'll make a note of that, and we'll figure that out.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right.
Question on the gates for the football games. Can all of the gates be open or, yeah, because I had a problem Saturday.
Yes, sir. So all of the gates that can be open are open. There are some gates that have the royal restrooms in them, so they are inside of those gates, so we can't open those gates to pedestrians. But each of the gates that don't have something blocking the entrance, all of those gates are open. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for making the end zone passes separate this year, because when they're all on one lanyard, it's a little nerve-wracking all season. Thank you for doing that.
Awesome. Thank you. All righty.
Any more?
Yes, ma'am. We have one more right here.
What about the muscle milk money, the $52 for the Rattler scoring?
Yes, ma'am. That goes to the Rattler boosters. Yes, ma'am. And we thank you for that as well.
Will we ever be able to get programs at the ball game? A lot of us like to know who the boys are and where they're from, you know, just sort of familiar with us, with the players.
We'll take a look at that as well, and we'll also increase the communication that we put out about the digital program that is available. And so if you go on your cell phones, if you'll go into your app store, there is a Rattler Athletics, FAMU Athletics app, and in that, it has a full game day rundown along with a link to the digital game day program. But we'll increase our efforts in terms of communicating that out to you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So,
The roster, yes, is on there. The rosters for both teams are in that information as well.
so I have two questions. Was there a internet problem on Saturday? Like I couldn't get nowhere.
Yes, sir. The number of people on the footprint definitely caused a disruption.
Okay, and our lovely friends in law enforcement, they had great ads on the jumbo screen about being our partners and stuff. I need them to help us with after the game. That traffic was horrendous, and I've been to Florida State game years ago. They have cars. There's traffic going one direction, leaving the stadium, getting the hell out of there, leaving. And at FAMU, it was just a circus. It was on every street. There was a circus going around and around and around. And people parked on this side and on this side, and you had to drive in the center, and then meet another car in the center of the lane. We need to study that situation, and they need to improve. they need to really improve that situation on traffic control. It was just really, really bad on, cause I know it's homecoming, it was super crowded, but it need to be improved though.
Yes, sir, Mr. Moore, we're on it.
Okay.
Thank you.
We got time for two more. We're gonna get Dexter and then.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Since Dr. Moore brought that up, I do have a question. I know what we've experienced with traffic has been that in certain situations we have conflicting schedules with Florida State. And I know in the past there has always been a discussion in regards to trying to get Florida State or the ACC to try to work with our conference, if it's the MEAC or the SWAC, so we don't have a conflict. My question is, could you consider reaching out to the mayor or the city manager to express the concerns about safety regarding our fans, student athletes, and those who support the university? So those two conferences between the SWAC and the ACC could work together harmoniously, where there's possible that there won't be a conflict, because manpower is a critical issue. And of course, you all know the police department, they're not doing it for the good graces. They charge the university for their people. So I'm like with Dr. Moore, if we're going to go to a game and have a lot of people there, we should be able to come in and out without any problems versus sitting in traffic for 45 minutes just to go one block. So that's just a consideration. If you can consider talking to the city manager or the mayor to see if they could pen a letter to both conferences to assist us.
Certainly, and so thank you, Dexter, for that question and those comments. Actually, the conference schedules are already set for the next 4 or 5 years, right? And so it's really on us to select when our homecoming game will be. And I think I've mentioned before, Tallahassee is one of very few markets that have 2 Division I programs in the same mall, right? Not just the same city, right? But, and then we're very few and far between. Baton Rouge is one with LSU and Southern. You really can't count Atlanta, really can't count Houston, where we're going this weekend, because those are more metropolitan areas, right? But where you have small town, right, with 2 Division I programs, you're going to have that conflict. The city manager, the county administrator, the mayor are all very supportive. Some of those decisions are on us. And so we definitely will be considerate of the manpower and of the resources that are available to us moving forward, so that at least our big days, right, our family weekends and our homecoming weekends, but the games themselves, the schedule is already set. So we can take a look at that and have that conversation. Yes, Ms. Johnson.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd just like to add to that. I had to speak to this parking and the traffic thing last season, and some of the police officers are socializing. They are not assisting with trying to get, I'm just gonna tell it like it is. They are eating and they are standing up talking, and they just look at us as to say, figure it out yourself. And I think that's just terrible, because they are getting paid. And I felt like I needed to add to that. It has nothing to do with scheduling. If we're the only one playing, that's what they do. And the question that I have is, as champion, investing in champions, usually we get a little token or a little gift. Would there be any gifts this year, or did I miss it? Did I miss my gift?
Ms. Johnson, you haven't missed your gift. Let me get on that. Yes, ma'am. As a matter of fact, maybe we need a gift committee, Ms. Johnson.
Last question.
Good day. Question Clutch Parking.
Yes, sir.
What is our relationship with them? I had not homecoming, but Southern's game. I always do Clutch Parking, and there were no attendants. When I got there, the parking lot was full. So how do we address that?
So Clutch is the third-party app where you purchase it and then they issue you the credential, but the manning of the lot, that's on us. So let me definitely make sure that we take a note of that and we make sure that the lots are manned moving forward. And actually, the rec center now, that lot is going to be open. So there's a little, tidbit right there. If you get to the rec center lot, you're coming to campus, if it's first come, first get. We're taking that lot out of the Clutch system because we want to be welcoming, right? We don't want to make it just hard for you to come on campus. And for those of you, you're leaving money on the table. They're only, last year alone for the whole season, we only sold 12 passes in that Clutch lot. And so I'll end with some good news, drum roll. We're at 50 season tickets. Last year we were at 14. That was the number if you guessed. And so we're currently, and that's even before they're able to be printed. So thank you. Of course, we want to get over 1,000 season ticket holders for basketball, and we are definitely there. We have tripled last year, so thank you for your support.
Thank you, VP Suggs. Okay, I'm very excited today. As you know, HBCU Game Day partners with the Florida Classic Consortium to provide content leading up to the Florida Classic. And it's just around the corner. So one of the things that they asked us to do was let everybody know who is a drum major at FAMU that happens to be a female, the second one. And so today we invited Dr. Shelby Chipman, and I'm gonna play a little clip that they haven't seen, but both of them are in it. I rushed and got it done because I wanted you all to see it first. Among my busy schedule, I moved it up. So if we can get the light, please, I'm going to show a quick clip before we bring up Dr. Chipman and Olowomadupe Oloyede. I got it.
Hi, my name is Corey Bostic. I am a 2016 graduate of Southwest DeKalb, a 2019 graduate of Florida A&M, and in 2018, I was selected as a FAMU drum major.
Hi, my name is Oluwamodupe Oloyede. I am a fourth-year theater performance scholar at Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, and I currently serve as a drum major on squad. I also went to Southwest DeKalb High School.
Corey exudes the kind of personalities that we expect from drum majors, but even more importantly before that, she lines right up, as I would like to say, with the models and the virtues of the band model. And of course, that model that was started many years ago in 1946 talk about a person's character and their dedication and their musicianship and their leadership and their ability to present themselves before the public as ambassadors.
When I got to FAMU, the band scholarship spoke to me. My primary instrument is oboe. So, of course, the Marching 100 is the best, and I've always wanted to be a part of the best no matter what. But Florida A&M was holding open tryouts, and my mom said, just go. Okay, what's the harm in just going? Well, it took me 3 days to make the team, and then I was on the team, and 2016, I was in the Marching 100 as a freshman. If you know, you know. And I was a first-year Division I basketball player for Florida A&M. If you know, you know. So my schedule was very, very tight, but I loved both of them. And it eventually came to a point where my coaches were like, we were so impressed with what you did this year. However, we only had half of you. So don't answer too quickly, but you have to make a decision, basketball or band. And when I went and reflected with myself, I knew that the answer was band. So when I did not make drum major the first time, a lot of my teammates were like, hey, you didn't make it, so you want to come back to basketball? And I was just like, no, this is a part of my story. I'm trusting the process. And I stuck with band the rest of the way. So it's my second, third, and fourth year. I completely committed to the Marching 100, and I was rewarded for that, very much so.
Dupe is a wonderful, first of all, wonderful person and student. And that sits high on Dr. Chipman's list. Your character, your personality, and, a person that sees you in the morning, good afternoon, how's your day going? Just personable in that respect. And then, of course, her skill set on the alto saxophone is just superb. Her ability to communicate with band members. I mean, a member of the show planning committee. Of course, she's a theater student here in our College of Social Sciences, Arts, and Humanities with Dr. Valencia Matthews, and just does an exceptional job in the ranks. And that's first and foremost, as I've mentioned in the past, in terms of my leadership style and how I go about selecting students. You have to prove that you're worthy in the ranks and you've been a good follower before you can be an even greater leader.
In recent years, the entire leadership staff is announced on June 1, a celebratory day for the Marching 100, the day we were founded, on 1946. So we're typically picked on June 1, and the drum majors are able to start conditioning as a squad from that point forward. I was in London. Yes. So I feel like God loves putting me in these situations. So what happened was, when the Wiz was happening at FAMU, it was constant, like it was either theater or band or at the same time. So the Wiz had just ended, drum major practice just started. Drum major tryout conditioning continued. Then I got an offer to study with the British American Drama Academy. I prayed, I said, God, I only got one shot to try out, so what are we gonna do here? And I got the chance to do both. The nerves were there. But I was able to say, like she said, you gotta remember why you did this. I had to remember why I did this. I knew the stakes were high, but failing was not an option. So that first slow one, when everybody's waiting to see, are you gonna drop? Are you gonna shake? I said, no, you can't. I just focused, I'm on the end, so I focused on that street light, and I felt my breathing getting faster. I said, you've been doing this for over a month. You've been doing slow ones since you joined the band. You can do this. So I had to psych myself into doing what we were supposed to do, and that was the first time. The nerves were there, but looking back, it was fun. Now it's homecoming, bring on. I felt so elated. I said, yeah, we've been working for this. You only had one option, so. And it wasn't to fail, it was only to succeed.
Only to succeed.
Yeah.
So kind of like with football players, we always see them in their uniforms and the helmets on covering their face, and we don't know who they are. So the whole scope of the piece, and that is just, I expected to be talking with Dupe and Corey for about 10, 12 minutes. We did like 40 minutes. But the chemistry between Corey and Dupe is just unreal. And we want to make sure we capture that entire thing. Remember, this is just a snippet. The whole piece will be probably 30 minutes long. Will be coming out really soon. So I'd like to bring up first the director of the Marching 100, Dr. Shelby Chipman.
All right, any rattlers in the house? All right, good afternoon, everyone. Of course, protocol has been established, but of course, our First Lady and my sister Angela, and of course, our great coach, we got your back when we can play. Okay, you didn't get that, Angela? Okay, because people are wondering, because I was listening to those questions, I said, God, I hope they don't ask me that many questions, because I got to go to band rehearsal, and she has to go too. No, but FAMU is just a great place to have the opportunity. Of course, you know, I always give credit the giants that have served before me, and of course, Dr. Foster, Dr. White, and Dr. Sylvester Young, who received the Trailblazers Award. I was sitting at the very back because we were in rehearsal last Friday, but just a first class presentation that I saw the back half of it, and I do want to say congratulations to the committee and of course Marvin Green and of course Vaughn for putting that piece together last Friday during the Hall of Fame banquet, and all the many individuals that helped out with that. And of course this year we're celebrating another year. We're very fortunate to have an outstanding marching band. This year's band is 290 members in total. And of course, we have 7 drum majors. I increased the number of drum majors just based on who I thought was coming back and thinking it was time to increase, like we had at the Tournament of Roses Parade. I know that Brother Eddie Jackson is continuing to smile from heaven on the good work that 220 Quarterback Club is doing. And whenever I've come here and said hello and asked for any kind of blessings, you all have always supported us. I was at the NAA meeting this summer in Tampa and got a chance to see a lot of you, and also put in a pitch for a fundraising campaign that we're going to launch very shortly. You saw the other day that we did acknowledge Dr. Shayla James. This is his 60th year at FAMU, his first and only job. And of course, he's been at it as director of our percussion for 60 years. And Mr. Don is celebrating his 40th year as equipment property manager. Last year, we acknowledged Mr. Sargent for 50 years and Dr. White for over 60 years. And next year, it's Joe Bullett's year. He would have been with the voice of the band for 50 years, so we'll be acknowledging Joe Bullett next year as the voice of the incomparable Marching 100. And so we're celebrating a great year. Hopefully you enjoyed our homecoming show, trip that gave there with the music and formations that we put on the field, and we're making some decisions, of course, beyond Frankie Beverly Mays with Quincy Jones for possibly next week, and or some shades of acknowledging him at the Florida Classic. And we have these show planning committee meetings with staff and students, because we always want to get buy-in from our students. That's always been a bread and butter. It takes many voices to kind of put the final product on the field that we utilize. We know that the students have a pulse with what some of the students on campus and communities have, as well as some of the staff members, and we want to make sure that we're always entertaining everybody that's in attendance. And of course, this year we selected our second female drum major, and like you saw in the video, and you can see in her smile and just her demeanor, just a very outstanding individual. I will say that the high school that both of them attended, Southwest DeKalb High School, Mr. James Sater is one of our outstanding former trumpet leaders and does an amazing job with sending quality students to us. And so the decision was not as difficult to make. Yes, we do have a tryout process where anywhere from 15 to 20 students do tryout for about 4 or 5 positions. We've already had our first meeting. We always have a meeting in the fall semester prior to tryouts in the spring, just to see who might be interested. And mainly I want the students to know what some of the characteristics that we'll be following and looking for in them as we go into the spring semester. So we had our first meeting, I think it was something that showed up. And so we'll be looking for replacements for the drum majors for next year even, because 5 of them are leaving and I think 2 of them will be returning. And so, but this year, of course, Dupe, she does an amazing job. Like I said, her personality is just so inviting. There's never a day, even when I'm having a rough day, I won't say if you work at FAMU, you have some rough days, but I'll just say, okay, I've been at FAMU now 25 years and 10 high school before that, so I've been teaching for 35 years now. So a lot of good days and other days, but certainly she's one that always comes up. Good afternoon, Dr. Chipman. Have you presented the rehearsal schedule in our remind? So at 3 o'clock every day, I get a text from either Dupe or one of the drum majors say, Dr. Chipman, we haven't received the schedule of rehearsal for that day. And then I immediately scramble to make sure I get it in because we start downbeat right at 3:30. And certainly beyond that and all the mechanics that coincide with being a FAMU drum major and the ambassador and putting the microphone in front of them and, like she said, the excellence that is required and expected when they're executing the slow one or the death march is very much so in line with what she's been able to achieve. And I'm just so proud, so thrilled that she's on our staff and does an amazing job that she does. And even beyond the classroom on the band drill field, you heard some of the other things that she's had the opportunity to experience because of her being a student in the theater department here on campus. So without further ado, you know I could talk all day, but 5 B's, brother. Be brief, brother, be brief. Please acknowledge and welcome one of our drum majors, Dupe.
Thank you, Dr. Chipman, and thank you so much, Mr. Von Wilson. Good afternoon. As he stated, my name is Oluwamodupe Oloyede. I am a fourth-year theater performance scholar from Atlanta, Georgia. I attended Southwest DeKalb High School in Decatur, Georgia, and I am currently a student at FAMU. I am so grateful to be here today and honored, honestly, to be recognized as the second woman drum major at Florida A&M for the Marching 100, understanding how many people came before, the shoulders of the giants that we stand on. And you can hear from the legacy of staff members who are staying for 60 years, their first and only job, Dr. James, their second job, maybe their third, but they're staying for years on end because of the legacy that the Marching 100 holds. And I'm just grateful to be also in that number. We are here today also to celebrate many people such as Dr. Chipman, who keep the band program going, and also want to revere Corey Bostic for the trailblazing that she did for the Women in the 100. I'm also a member of the Beta Phi chapter of Tau Beta Sigma, National Honorary Band Sorority, and we work with Dr. Chipman to just make sure that the band program is going forward. So to be in any capacity working with Dr. Chipman in the 100, drum major, before assistant section leader, and before just a band member, I'm honored. So thank you all for having me.
Now you all see why I brought her? Doesn't she represent like the best of FAMU? Intelligent, beautiful, smart. But y'all saw her on that video at practice. She can be tough when she needs to be, right? She's telling them to get in that line last week. Y'all remember, that's the same young lady that was out there holding court at practice. But having to produce this piece for the last week, she's become like a little sister like Corey became with me, because Dr. Chipman, and you'll see that story on the long piece. Corey's last game was the Florida Classic, and you normally don't leave the band under any circumstance. It's a very strict protocol if you do want to leave, and there were so many requests for Corey to interview, and Dr. Chipman saw me there. He's like, Vaughn, stay with her till she interview and bring her to the bus. It sounded easy. Okay, Doc, you know, whatever you ask me to do, I got you. First off, we sat there, it must have been 45 minutes worth of interviews, just this TV station, that TV, this network. I mean, Corey did a great job, but then I had to get her to the bus. And without being rude, carrying Michael Jackson behind me, I said, Corey, one rule, don't let go of my hand. And we made a path through those people that were just trying to grab at her. And that's how important the Marching 100 is to people. Sometimes we see them all the time and we forget how important they are and the ambassadors that they are and the icons that they are. So to have another young lady to step up and to carry that baton in the way she does, you know, there's a piece on there that I'm not gonna give the whole thing away, but she and Corey, I didn't know they did this. They make sure that if you're looking at the drum majors, you're gonna have to look really close to tell which one is her. And so my job Saturday was to follow the band from the band room to the field, and boy, that was a task, because she represents the university and the drum majors, and she represents a woman by her very existence. But at that moment, she doesn't represent a woman drum major. She represents one of our drum majors, and that's one thing I'm really proud of her for. We have time for a couple of questions for Dupe.
Thank you for the compliments. I appreciate them.
This question isn't necessarily for you, but band at basketball games. To me, it means so much to have the band in the at the game. Why does the DJ outplay the band? If you're there, why can't we have more selections from the band?
You want me to answer that? Okay.
Thank you for the question, Ms. Hadley. We will speak with the marketing team, and as we look at the run of show, we will definitely take that into account. Thank you.
Did y'all see how far I walked away from the podium on in? I had to get away from them strays.
Well, I look the other way. I just defer. No, but I do want to say, though, we have promised the coaches that we're going to try and do better. You know, Maya Angelou say, when you know better, you do better. We're going to try and do better with playing at more of the events within athletics. And my good sister Angela has just been amazing since she's been on board. I feel so refreshed having her, not I used to do that pronoun I, but we do, just in terms of the conversations that we've had so far with athletics and band being inclusive throughout the year. And so the other night at the basketball game, those students were first and second year band members, so that we don't have them all out there all the time. We're going to always mix them up. And so you'll see third, and I think I've said this before, and so the other night it was just the first and second years, but we do plan on, like we did playing at the volleyball game that we did, the softball game at some point, maybe a track meet in the spring, and certainly some of the other sports, baseball at some point in time. We'll just break the students up. In case I didn't mention it, we are playing this Saturday at the Fall Welcome Week in Al Lawson, and we're marching in the Veterans Day Parade next Monday here in Tallahassee. This year we're the lead band. We alternate with FSU Marching Chiefs. So last year we were last and they were first. So this year we're first and they're last unit in the Veterans Day Parade. So I just wanted to mention that.
It's not a question. I just want to comment on you. What's your name again?
Dupe.
Say it all.
Oluwamo Dupe.
I love it.
Thank you.
What she said. I just want you to know I appreciate your appearance.
Thank you.
You are very well represented. A lot of young generations come in now with pants hanging down, all that kind of stuff. But I appreciate what you look like today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dupe. I was at the studio setting up for Corey and Dupe to come in. And when they came through the door, I was like, used to see them in the band uniform. They were looking really, you saw, they looked really nice. And I was like, have y'all seen the drum majors that was supposed to be coming today? Up next, I'd like to bring up the head coach of the Victorious on Homecoming, which is one of the requirements of being the head coach at Florida A&M University. Dr. Jackson? Okay, Coach, we're going to bring up the CEO, Dr. Jackson, is going to come up. Coach says he's here for us. They won. He ain't got no reason to run out of here. Yeah. Yeah, they go. All right, the CEO of the Eddie Jackson 220 Quarterback Club, I'd like to bring up Dr. Geraldine Jackson.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. I have a couple things I want to do today. And the first thing I want to do, though, is to introduce our First Lady of the university now, Mrs. Wendy Gavin Beard. Okay. So I wanted her to come so that you all could get a close-up of her. And I'm a little bit selfish also because I've known her. You know, there's a scripture that says, I knew you when you were in your mother's womb, you know. her mom and I were, and grew up together. We were in the same class from 1st grade through 12th grade. So like I said, I knew her before. But I just wanted, I'm so happy that she's here in this role. And I wanted you all to see her. Like I said, I'm a little selfish. But then on behalf of all these wonderful people in here, the Eddie Jackson 220 Quarterback Club, we just wanted to show you a little bit of love. All right. Because we know that you're on the move a lot. Yes, I am. Okay. But the best part is of the Eddie Jackson 220 Quarterback Club. Oh, thank you.
Pick up the mic. Yeah.
The next thing I have to do is talk, because at the time of Eddie's passing, people were asking if we were going to set up a scholarship in his name. And at the time, you know, I didn't think about it, but then we said, okay, Vaughn encouraged me to do it. So we did. And people were very generous all over. And I want to say this on our people online watching, because several people online out of town contributed to the scholarship fund at the FAMU Foundation. Like I said, at that time, I did not know what we were going to do with the money. And then when my head cleared a little bit, I thought that maybe we should do something for his high school, Jones High School. And then Dr. Chipman asked me to, and he's very fond of the band, and Dr. Chipman asked me to be an honorary marshal at the band camp parade. And so I said, okay, I have to do a little something for the band. But and also, Dr. Chipman was just great, because when Eddie passed, Dr. Chipman was in Orlando, Tampa, wherever it was, for the alumni meeting. And then after that meeting, he had to stay over for another meeting. And so we were working on the program, and I said, well, let's see if we can get the band. So track Dr. Chipman down. And do you know that was a time when school was out? So there were no students around, hardly one or two, you know. So, but Dr. Chipman got on the phone with Dr. Thomas, and they rounded up some students. If you all were at the service, that was a quick put together, you know, some students. They found some students here in the city to put on, to play at the service, and did an excellent job. Thank you so much for that. And then he was home for about a couple of days, and then he had to run away to New York or somewhere for Michigan for another meeting, so he wasn't able to be there. But Dr. Chipman, I just want you to know how much I really appreciate that, and for always being a friend with Eddie. So since I know you need to run, on behalf of so my daughter and I, who couldn't be here today, she's a psychiatrist here in town. She's gonna get me for saying this, but after the election, you know, last time, she's kind of busy today. so she called and said, Mom, I'm not gonna be able to get away. I got to stay in the office today. So, but anyway, so we decided that we wanted to do a little something for Cam. And so I'm honored to present to you, it says the inaugural, because these are the very first scholarship funds from the scholarship committee. The inaugural Eddie Jackson Memorial Scholarship for $2,100 presented to Dr. Shelby Chipman, Director of the 2025 Marching 100 Summer Band Camp, Florida A&M University, for 3 $700 summer band scholarships. And this is signed by me and her.
I just want to say thank you, and we'll make sure that the best instrumentalist that applies, that's an incoming freshman for the fall class of 2025, receives this scholarship. Thank you so much on behalf of the band. Well, yes. Normally, in the last couple of years, we've had about 20 students in the summer band camp that were incoming freshmen. So we'll make sure it goes to one of those students. Thank you.
The other thing we decided to do was to give a scholarship to some incoming freshmen from Jones High School. And I wanted to do 3. And I reached out, the counselor at Jones sent me 3 names as possibilities. And I reached out to 3 students, but only 1 responded. I sent emails and then I sent texts, and but then only 1 responded. So what we're going to do, I originally was going to give $1,000 to 3 students, but come on. Now, well, I'm going to let her say who she is and something about yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ariel Moore, and I am a freshman at FAMU majoring in biology pre-medicine.
Like I said, since I was only going to give, I was going to give 3, but since I only have 1, and when I called her Sunday night to let her know, even though we had established some communication before, she didn't know that she was going to get the scholarship, and I asked them to write a little paragraph, and she did. She has a brother here too at FAMU. So I said, so we said, okay. And so when I talked to her Sunday night, she was just so nice on the phone. She was so polite and all of that. You know, it just touched my heart. So I said to my daughter, I said, well, since we had prepared to give 3 and we only have 1, I'm going to give her $2,000. And it says, inaugural Eddie Jackson Memorial Scholarship for $2,000 presented to Ariel Moore, 2024 graduate of Jones High School, Orlando, Florida, 2024 freshman pre-med student, Florida A&M University, and this day presented at the Eddie Jackson 220 and is signed by my daughter, me. Thank you. And I want to thank all of you who have contributed. Now, the only funny thing about that area, and I didn't tell you that yet, but when money goes to the FAMU Foundation for scholarship, because I had told her she was going to come today and get a check, but when the money goes to the FAMU Foundation for scholarships, I can't touch it. So I went over there to get the check Monday. I didn't know all of this. So when I went to get the check, she said, well, you know, we'll give you a check. So what happens, the process is that it goes into her account at financial aid. If you owe some money, they apply it to that account. But if you don't owe any money, whatever you owe, they will give you the balance in a net check. So keep an eye on that and let me know. So, you know, if there is, either way, it's a win-win for your parents and you, okay? And just okay. One other little thing, you know, since I'm giving stuff to everybody else, and Eddie would be very upset with me if I didn't give you something too. So here's just a little bit of something. Thank you so much. Thank you. We always like giving things to students. Yeah, okay. Other Jones High School students.
Oh, we got 2 in here at least.
So y'all can see him in his Jones High. All of Jones High School people up in here, stand up. Jones High
We got
School,
3.
Orlando.
We got 3, 4. Oh, right.
This little sweater that he has on is compliments of Harold Thornton, set up hair, and he has on his Jones stuff today, you know? and he didn't know that. But Harold gave him this little sweater, and it says Jones High Tigers, Eddie in quotes, class of 1956. So I thought I'd bring him to the program today. And also wear his favorite cap. That's why I have on the cap.
Let's give it up for our CEO. She keeps us going. Thank you, Dr. Jackson, for keeping us going. But that's not the picture we wanted to see. We wanted to see him in his quarterback uniform. That's the one we really wanted to see. Oh, I got jokes, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Without further ado, I'd like to bring up the 19th head coach of Florida A&M University, our head coach, James Colsey III.
Good afternoon. First Lady Beard, our Vice President, Athletic Director, Eddie Thugs, Dr. Shimon. I want to make sure I say hello to you and thank you for allowing me to be here up this afternoon. I know got a lot to talk about as we get ready for our next opponent, but I got a couple things I need to say to you first, Dr. Shimon, if you don't mind, Chipman. The first thing is that scholarship. I'm gonna need a little bit of it, okay? I want to because after every game, I'm always asked to go up there. When we win, I'm supposed to go up there and go up there with him, and I'm not going up there if I don't have no practice. So I'm gonna need a little bit of that scholarship money to go up there and do that. Secondly, I'd like to thank you because I know we didn't get a penalty this past weekend. So thank you from the football team. Now I think from our AD department. They want to thank you for no penalties after halftime. Because just so you guys know, they extended halftime for the band, and it looked like we needed a little bit more of an extension. But thank you. I was just so you guys know, I was speaking to the referee at the time, and we call him the white hat because he's the head referee, and I said to him, I said, "Are you gonna get us?" He said, "I want you to know." He goes, "Coach, I'm not going to get you because I want to be able to get out of Tallahassee." I want to say thank you. Now knowing how parking was, they weren't going to get out of Tallahassee. No way. But thank you for that. I want to make sure I say to you, I apologize for how I look because there's nothing I can do about it, okay? I know we congratulate her for how she look, but this is how I look. There's nothing I can do anything about. But 500 yards of offense, we hold the team to under 200 yards defensively. You know, you put a 50 spot on a football team during homecoming. Obviously, you know, they were a football team that we thought was going to hold a challenge for us. We thought they were a football team that, you know, they had some really, really good players, really good systems in place. But, I mean, I think for the first time, you got a chance to see us offensively and defensively click the way we were hoping to click throughout this entire season. So, you know, we're currently, you know, obviously 5-3 overall, 3-1 in the conference. You know, we're behind one game because of obviously we missed our Alabama A&M game. So technically, we would more than likely probably be in second place if we would have played that football game. But you know, we got what we needed. Believe me, Vaughn sits in there with me when before I do my press conference, and I try to, you know, they ask me for a statement. I don't really just start talking off the rip. I kind of take a deep breath, to make sure I can get my words properly stated, and it was excited. I was happy to say I can't wait to get the $52 checks from you guys. It was an exciting time. Believe me, I know because you mentioned where's you said you get on me. You don't get on me. I think you demand me. You demand that we have more points. So I think we did that. I'm hoping to get another $50 check this upcoming weekend. But I will say this, going down to PV, traveling on the road, it's a little bit of a different parameters for us, right? Like I said, when we play at home, we play with our best 85. When we go on the road, we have to play with our best 70, where the other team can use their best 85, right? So we're going on the road. We'll probably spend maybe a full day there, right? We'll leave Friday afternoon. We'll play Saturday afternoon, and we should get back hopefully sometime Saturday evening. So that's what being on the road's about. You go in town, you do your meetings. On Friday night, you do your meeting Saturday morning, and then you got to play at 2 o'clock, which will be 2 o'clock, Central Standard Time. So really, really good football team that we'll be going against, similar to us, where, we got to keep winning to hopefully attain the goal that we set for ourselves at the end of the season. They're comfortable. They just came off a really, really good win. Every time we play somebody every week, it feels like they just came off of a win. So our guys are inspired. They're ready to play. I know we got one of my big fellas here. I had to get him in here. He's actually our offensive MVP, one of my offensive linemen. He was one of the guys that so he should be able to tell you on the way out. We had a really, really good practice the last couple of days. We've been full pads on Wednesdays. That's not normally something that we do, but I wanted to do some stuff run game wise, so we went full pads today. We got Thursday. We'll practice at 3 o'clock, and then Friday we'll be on a. Are we booking the jet this time? We'll be on the jet this time, Friday. But again, excited to get ready and play a good football team. I know we're on TV, ESPN Plus, but again, excited for what transpired this past weekend. But believe it or not, we have moved on to our next opponent. And I know you said you had a question for me, but I answered all of my questions at the basketball game when we did the show. So it was exciting to see everybody at the basketball game. Believe me, it was really, really exciting to see you guys. I know we had our whole football team there at the women's basketball game, and hopefully we can continue to support the other teams that are throughout our university. Trust me, believe me, they need that as well. But I am open for any questions that anyone may have.
Coach, question.
Where'd you get the microphone? Did you have it? You have it in your pocket? I just looked at you. You had.
Well, I said I had a question.
I know, but where'd you get the microphone? I just looked at you. You didn't have a microphone. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're going. My question is this.
Yes, sir.
Scoring 52 points.
Yes, sir.
Does that mean the kids have now gotten into your philosophy and the coaching staff's philosophy and thoughts of how to play the things that you all want? And if that's the case, will we see that kind of offensively output the remainder of the year?
Well, our philosophy has been the same throughout, and first of all, that's a great question. Our philosophy has been the same throughout the season. I will say that I think we executed a heck of a lot better. You're getting a quarterback that is, Daniel Richardson, every game that he plays is one game more than, he's played in a Rattler uniform, right? So execution was better. He's understanding his receivers a heck of a lot better. Obviously, our offensive line, who's the cog of our offense, they did a great job in the pass game and in the run game. Trust me, I want 50 points every weekend, right? But I think we did a great job of playing complementary football defensively, putting them in the right spots. Offensively, we did a great job on third down. Daniel Richardson made some great throws. We made some great catches. I just thought we executed a heck of a lot better this past weekend than we may have in the past, right? But guys are making plays. Different guys are making plays. Different guys are contributing to what we're doing on the offensive side of football. We're throwing the ball to 8, 9, 10 different guys on the offensive side of the football. So, philosophy, yes, we want to make sure we get the ball to all of our playmakers, but most importantly, we just want to get we want to get the ball to the people that are open. We could care less who it may be. So I just thought they did a great job, right? And we came out in the second half and then executed even better.
So we're saying instead of giving let me finish, I'm talking. Instead of giving one trophy to an offensive player or defensive player, special teams player of the game, we can say the entire team was an outstanding unit.
Well,
am I correct in saying that?
I think you are. I mean, we did have some special team issues that we definitely need to address. I mean, we gave up more special team yards than we gave up defensively. So those are things, we didn't play a perfect game. I mean, I'll say that, right? We gave up 164 yards defensively, but we somehow gave up 28 points, right? So, we have not played the perfect game yet. We did some things that we need to fix special teams wise, but if we had to make a decision of when I asked my staff, it was our offensive line because they collectively played a great football game. And then when I talked to my coordinator, he specifically gave Big Davis as the best offensive lineman that we had this past Saturday. So a much well-rounded victory, as close as we can say, but we always have some things to work on, and special teams is one of those things.
Coach.
Yes, sir.
One comment before I ask the question. I just want to say you're a man of great influence.
Yes, sir.
On campus, and you've done a great job since you've been here.
Thank you.
You even got Dr. Walker to buy glasses just like yours.
Hey. I saw her with the glasses. That's why I got them. She got those glasses because she wants to make sure I'm wearing orange and green every day.
She told me she wanted them just like you. But my question is that if we end up with one loss, and Jackson State has one loss, and Alabama State has one loss, how would the tiebreaker work?
There's a bunch of different scenarios, but if that's the case, that means Alabama State would have beaten Jackson State. I want to say they play next week, and I think there's some point differential that falls into it. I know with us winning by 15 and then obviously losing by 14, that puts us at +1. But there are some scenarios, and you can't really look at those scenarios until they lose, right? So I mean, I to be honest with you, I can't. I'm not even worried about whether they win or lose. And I know where I'm with you. That's a great question, because it doesn't matter if they win or lose next week if we don't take care of what we need to take care of this upcoming Saturday. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Coach, special teams. When are we going to start kicking the ball in the end zone again?
Well, I mean, the guy that we had is out for the year.
He's out for the year.
Yeah, he's out for the year. He hasn't kicked. What, Michael Smith? That was a Troy game. Maybe Troy.
Yeah,
maybe
last time he came here.
Yeah. So he hasn't kicked since then. So now I don't know if we want to sky kick everything right now. So Cameron Gillis, believe it or not, the way we had everything was Michael Smith would handle the kickoffs and Cameron Gillis would handle our field goals, right? So we had a really, really good tandem with that. Michael Smith is out, for the year. So now we've been using Cameron, who kicks the ball. He kicks the ball to the 5, and trust me, it was a heck of a lot easier to cover kicks that went inside the end zone.
Yes, it was.
But that's where we're at, and I'm not a real big fan of skying every time, because now they can scheme against you. And as you saw, we skied one last week, and the sucker brought it right back around the other side. So do we need to do a better job covering kicks? I think that might be the better question. Yes, we had. If you look at I looked at the touchdown. We were out of our lanes, and so it doesn't matter where you kick it. If people are out of their lanes, that's what you're gonna get if you don't do what you need to do.
Is there an update on Trey Wilhoit?
Yeah, he's sidelined as well. So I mean, it's been Gunnar Trout. It's been Gunnar Trout since Troy. I mean, after the Troy game as well. Yeah. So it's been those two. It's been those two since probably the last 4 or 5 weeks. Yeah. Yeah. Say it again. Thank you. Thank you, sir. You want me to say what you're going to tell me before you get the microphone? Okay, all right.
Coach,
Yes, ma'am.
I know y'all always used to hearing me complain.
Mhm.
I just complain as fun, but I'm not going to complain today.
Oh,
I'm going to say congratulations.
Thank you.
I appreciate that win.
Yes, ma'am.
But I'm still coming for you.
I know. How are the bathrooms this time? Was everything okay? Okay, I didn't mean to open up that window. I'm sorry. I apologize. Oh. Oh, man,
Hey,
Yes,
hey,
sir.
Coach, you know I was looking at.
I know. You and him need
see.
to have a conversation.
Yes, sir. Yes,
You
sir.
guys were about the same size, I think.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Great job, Coach.
Thank you, sir.
I know. Hey, how's the big H-back, the big kid? Look like he got hurt up there.
He's another guy. He's banged up probably for the season. But got to get some stuff with the doctor. But
Okay.
he's in the process of doing all that this week.
Okay, I noticed.
But we
that
had
they-
another guy that went right in.
Went in.
You know,
that's right.
yes, sir.
That's great. I noticed that they stayed low and they kept on the blocks and footwork. Like you said, a big man there. Tell them to keep the good worker. You paid attention to it too, and I know that.
Yes, sir.
And that's what happened when you make improvement in that offensive line. You see what kind of the quarterback can just say 1,000, 1,200. He can do it.
Yes.
And they stayed with their blocks. Now I kept eyes on that, and I know
Yes,
the
sir.
footwork that they have up there.
Yes, sir.
And they was covering up for one another. Good work,
Coach Henry has them playing low, keeping their hands in the right spot, driving their feet. Now just think, if I would have listened to the people that said stop running the ball.
Woo! That's right. But they
We
did
keep going, right?
They did a
They
great,
keep doing a heck of a
great
job. They're doing a great job.
Great job.
Love everything that they're doing. And now hey, we do an extra 5 or 6 periods of individual, primarily because of our offensive line.
Great
You
job.
know, and they're continuing to do good work. And we got different guys every week that are performing at their best.
Good job, Coach. Thank you.
What part of Miami? They say you were from Miami? Where? No, I had the new face. Miami Gardens? Okay.
Yeah, Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
The little guy that ran the kickoff return back.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Do you use him a lot? I hadn't really seen him.
He's been back there probably the last 4 weeks. I guess you guys are just hard to please because he's been back there for 4 weeks. I mean, you only see him if he goes 100 yards. But Robert Lockhart's been back there all week. He was actually one of our special teams
Oh, he
MVP.
was? No, my bad.
Am I right, Charles? You just probably missed him. But he's been back there the last 4 or 5 weeks as our returner. Done a good job. You know, and I'm gonna let him know that we still don't know who he is, so then he can go ahead and get another one.
Because I thought you had just put me in for halftime or something. for the homecoming.
Well, if that's gonna make me a great coach, yeah, that was the first time I put him back there. No, but he's been back there all season.
And I see why you rolling the quarterback out, because this guy is so big over here, this offensive lineman, man. I mean,
he's got how many? You got one more. You got one more year left, don't you? Yeah, he's got one more year left, and
Yeah.
He's doing a great job.
Well, we good. Get your music.
That's my theme song? Oh. Okay.
We got a compliment to AD Suggs for the quality mural on the east side concession walls. Everybody saw those nice murals? They're on both sides. It says, with a rotation of Dean, Franklin, and Somerset, will we see more 2 running back pairing sets in lieu of the 1 back set?
Well, with our one-back sets, we often use our tight ends, you know, and that gives us opportunity to use our extra offensive linemen in certain situations. We've done that on occasion, but when you put an extra running back out there, then you have to lose a tight end or you have to lose one of your wide receivers. So, you know, our focus and philosophy-wise is no matter what we're playing, we want to make sure we have our best 11. But, you know, that might be something we may use later. I don't want to give anything away.
Okay,
but,
we're done with that question.
But you can't.
The next question is, Coach, who is the kid Pruitt and where did he come from? I know the answer, but they
Jeremiah
asked you.
Pruitt been here for 4 years. He's been here for 4 years, and you know he's getting more repetitions. Right, he's putting a lot more work in. Extremely proud of him. He's been a great teammate over the last 3 or 4 weeks, and now that's upped his game as far as what he's been able to do on the field.
Okay, that's all we have online. All right, we got time for maybe one more. Our final question.
Say it again.
Boss man got no.
Well, I don't want you to close it out without having a question.
Yes, sir.
Look here, Coach. We did run the ball some.
Yes.
And with the lineman up there,
yes.
Why don't we run the ball more behind people like him?
I mean, we've been pretty consistent as far as how much we've been trying to run the football. You know, you have last 2 or 3 weeks, we've done some things differently practice-wise. We've done some different things schematically. You know, when you get to a football game and you're having success running the ball, you're going to continue to run the ball. If you're in a game and you're not having success running the football, then you resort to throwing. But if you've seen over the last 2 or 3 weeks, we've had that success, which for us, it makes us more balanced, right? You know, you get 200-something yards passing, you get another 200 and some odd yards rushing. That just leaves you balanced, right? So, you know, we've had more success, therefore we're doing it more.
Okay.
Again, thanks everybody. Is anybody going to be in Texas this weekend? Anybody going to be in Texas? Okay, safe travels, and looking forward to seeing everybody next week.
All right, thanks, Coach. Congratulations on winning homecoming. I'm going to bring up A.D. Suggs, and then we're going to bring up Reverend Wilson to give away the trophies.
One more thing, Rattlers, on Monday, November 11th, our Lady Rattlers will take on the Florida State Seminoles at Florida State at 6 p.m. So we want you to come out and support them in that effort. Yes. Not the tickets are not available with us, but yes, the game is at the Civic Center. It's not a home and home. No. We'll have that information out. We'll send it out to our season ticket holders. You'll get the information about Monday's game, so we'll send it through that listserv. But then we'll also have it on our website and social and all of that. I'm sure that at Seminoles.com, underneath the women's basketball link on their schedule information, it's there as well.
All right, thank you, VP Suggs. And as Coach Wilson comes up to give the superlative trophies, for those who didn't go to the basketball game Monday, let me tell you, those girls look like a real basketball team. Unfortunately, Howard had a tall girl, number one, look like she needed to be in the WNBA. Good Lord. She was tough. I mean, every time we tried and Coach kept trying to do schemes, but it wasn't working. Sometimes she's just that person. He was, number one is good. And they were picked to win the MEAC. So that was a good game for us to start. But I'm telling you, the Lady Rattlers look like they're going to make some noise this year. Yeah, 9 of their 14 players were 6 feet or taller. So Howard is an established team for a long time, and we were fortunate that our Lady Rattlers look like a top contention team again. We'll do him first. Right here. Y'all come back here with her. Start with Jamil Sanders.
Big Charles is right there.
Okay. I got the mic. Y'all don't y'all see me? Shh. I got the mic. Don't you see me? It's up there. All right. Our MVP player of this past week, FAMU versus Texas Southern University homecoming game, is Charles Davis. Congratulations. Offense player.
Mariana.
You want the other one?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and read the other ones. Our other MVPs are Robert Lockhart, the kick returner. Special teams, Robert Lockhart.
Our special team MVP is Robert Lockhart. He's in class. He's in class.
And Jamil Sanders and defensive. You got Jamil Sanders.
You want to do them separately or together?
Yeah, he's not here, so we can
Okay.
just go ahead and read those.
And our defense MVP, Jamil Sanders. Is he in class also? Yes, ma'am. Eddie Jackson says there's nothing more important than 220.
I have that saved as a text.
All right, so everyone has their homework for the Mississippi Valley State game to find Dupe. It's a challenge. You're going to have to find her, but she's normally on the end. She's normally on the end. When they start dancing, you can tell the difference because she can move, as you saw on the video. But okay, all the Jones High School people, please come up for a photo. Ariel, your mother is watching online. She just tapped in and said thank you to everybody because her mom is watching us online. So thanks for watching. For those who are traveling to Houston, safe travels. Continue to support all of our other sports. And we will see you all next Wednesday. Anybody need a ticket to the Florida Classic? We got an extra ticket in a good spot. And also, if you want to ride down from Tallahassee to the Florida Classic, game ticket, bus ride, and the trip back, we have that available. Please see Reverend Wilson. If you want a one-day trip to Orlando, Coach Wilson, hold your hand up. If you're interested in doing the one-day trip to Orlando to turn around, you don't have to drive, you don't have to park. Your game tickets included as well as bus. See Coach Wilson.